OC16 Sports is presented in high definition with surround sound. OC16 Sports, celebrating 27 years of being your exclusive home to live high school athletic competition. This live sports presentation is proudly brought to you by New City Nissan, Zippy's, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, and Shopo, Hawaii's Police Officers Union. Today on OC16, high school volleyball players from across the state hit the sand in Waikiki to stake, or maybe better said, spike their claim to the titles Kings and Queens of the Beach. Duke Kahanamoku started the game, and his legacy is now being carried on by these outstanding high school players. Sun, sand, and volleyball converge on Waikiki's Queen Beach. This is the third annual Hawaii State Sand Volleyball Prep Championships. It goes down next, live in high definition and exclusively on OC16 Oceanic Time Warner Cable.
Oh, could there be a more beautiful setting than Waikiki? We're on the beach, on the sand for the third annual Boys and Girls State Volleyball Championships. Can't say beach because not everybody's so luxurious. Not everybody has a beach, of course, but we do. We're Hawaii, and we're teeing it up for the third time in a row. It doesn't get any better when you get to come to work barefoot with your toes in the sand. Kevin Wong and I, that's what we're dealing with today. Happy to have Kevin Wong. You are not only a great volleyball player in your own right, but you are in many ways the architect of this event. It's so exciting to be here for the third annual. It's just fun.
Getting bigger every year, right? We've got teams
is.
coming from further places. We had a Waianae squad, teams from Maui and the Big Island as well. It's been very exciting to be a part of this.
Yeah, the weather was a big headline for the past couple days. We'll talk about that in a minute. Weather is a non-factor. In fact, the players love that. We'll get to that in a minute. So here's how it started. It's been a busy couple of days, Kevin. 40 teams, that's how it started. In the women's side, it got down to the pool play. Then finally we had 8 teams. And here we are today, and we bring it back down to 2 teams. And talk about a great storyline. We have Punahou and La Pietra. On each team, there's a player named Green. Last year, they were together on La Pietra. They won it. As you take a look at what happened last year, it was the team of Green and Green beating Cataldo and Marquith. Well, the Greens have gone, well, I shouldn't say they're separate ways. One of the Greens left La Pietra to go to Punahou. And let's talk about the team from Punahou first. We have Savannah Green, the big 6-footer. She's teaming up with Arya Macomber. These are 2 young girls, but boy, are they good.
Yeah, both sophomores. Savannah Green, the most offensive-minded player in the tournament, 6 foot tall, brings a lot of power. Her partner, Macomber, probably the most fit, the most aggressive in the back row. You're going to see great defensive play from Arya Macomber, someone who's got such a great lineage in the sport of beach volleyball.
Then on the other side of the net, you have what comes in is the number 1 seeded team in La Pietra, half of which is the defending champ, Perry Green, who's teaming up with Jessica Akiona, 5'8" and 5'9", 2 young players again. Perry Green, though she's already committed to USC, only a junior. Akiona's a sophomore.
Right, Perry Green, so dynamic, such an athlete, has all the shots, all the chisels, the crazy cuts and angles. Her partner, Jess Akiona, a lefty, southpaw on the right side, makes for a lot of easy transitions, and she has a great all-around game as well.
All right, so one of these girls is going to be a 2-time defending state champ. It's very cool the way it works out. It's a great storyline. Again, dig in. Toes in the sand. When we come back, we're going to serve it up, the 2015 Sand Volleyball Championships. And welcome back, everybody, to the sand right here at Queens Beach. As you heard in the open, pretty much the origin, the birthplace of sand or beach volleyball. Duke Kahanamoku, once upon a time with his buddies out here, hitting it over the net, and here we are decades later. And how cool is it to have these 2 teams? There you see on the far side walking onto the mat with the light blue, the more turquoise team. That's La Pietra. On the other side, the darker fronts. That'll be Punahou. Let's go over the match rules, Kevin. It's pretty down and dirty.
Yes, this is the rules we will be using at the Rio de Janeiro Olympics in 2016. And right off the top, there's no open hand setting, no open hand reception. The net ruling, they've changed back to the tape as well. talking about a format that goes 21 points, and 15. They have to win 2 out of 3 to win this Hawaii Prep Championships.
All righty, you talk about Rio de Janeiro. Kevin, of course, international experience, having broadcasted in London, and you're going to be there in Rio. Speaking of international experience, this refereeing crew has got some pretty strong experience around the world.
Right, a lot of guys who refereed the collegiate matches at UH, and on the far right, Christopher Torr, the birthday boy, coming in from Canada, international ref, on his way to Rio de Janeiro as a referee. Last weekend he was in Qatar in the Middle East. Next weekend he goes on to the Philippines. This guy's been really spreading his knowledge and aloha to the rest of the refs here in Hawaii as well.
Yeah, racking up a lot of mileage points, so happy to have him here. Happy to have you join us wherever you may be. We mentioned the weather. Well, you probably know we're almost wherever you've lived, because there's been a flash flood advisory or watch in effect for the entire island chain for much of the last 3 days, but it's actually cleared up. Well, it hasn't cleared up. The rain has stopped, but it's muggy, it's overcast. The players say they love it for a couple of reasons. One, the sun's not in their eyes. 2, it's just not burning hot, the sand. But mainly, the sand is wet and compacted. That means they could jump a little bit easier.
Look at you, Dash. Yeah, it's a jumper's beach. The balls are going to be a little heavier, harder to serve big jump serves, but you are going to be seeing some blasts out here today.
So here we go. That is on the right side, serving it up. On the left side of your screen is La Pietra, and there's Perry Green off the net, dug up there nicely by Savannah Green. And both of these teams, as we get into the rhythm of the game, will tell you what their keys to the game is. They brought it up as they see Savannah Green, the 6-footer who's already committed to play for your brother at Pepperdine.
Right, and what she does better than anyone, so offensive. You're going to see a lot of this on-2 option from Macomber to Savannah Green. Such a devastating offense.
So setting it up, here's Perry Green. Nope, ball put over the net, and Savannah dumps it down for the point, 2-0 Punahou.
And you're going to see Savannah Green. They actually, part of the strategies they were talking about, you're going to see her doing some more blocking. Typically in the high school level, even on the boys' side, we haven't seen a ton of blocking, but this team really taking their gameplay to the next level.
Savannah Green asked her about why she chose to leave La Pietra, and she said, you know, I knew it would be a bigger stage, a more challenging stage, and that is out.
Service no good.
One actually pointed in, one pointed out, and
For the first time here.
they're calling it in, or rather out, excuse me, so it's an out serve. But Savannah Green, on leaving to go to Punahou, said, you know, she knew it would be challenging herself more to be on that bigger stage, and here is Savannah with the wind up and the kill, and that's already 3 quick kills for the 6-footer.
Interesting. Same kind of dramatic dilemmas with both teams. You've got the defending champions, the Greens, and then the partners that are a little more experienced and admittedly a little bit more nervous as we talked to them before the match.
And the ace serve, it splits the difference between Perry Green and Jessica Akiona. They both kind of look at one another, and it falls right between them for the point.
When you talk about some of that experience level, that's a player where Perry Green has had a lot of high-performance USA volleyball youth program type level. Maybe needs to step in and help out with that play a little bit.
And the 2 youngsters, or maybe not so much youngsters, but the 2 newcomers in Akiona for La Pietra and Macomber for Punahou, both of them saying that their teammates have really proven to be mentors and teachers, and a nice little fish shot that falls inside the tape for the point for La Pietra. But really a lot of credit being given to Savannah Green and Perry Green for being the mentors and the ones that have been here before.
Right.
So serving it up here is Jessica Akiona. And Macomber met at the net by Perry Green, who puts it over, but are they going to call a net violation? They are. It'll be point La Pietra.
Interesting, talking to both teams, you talked about the similar perceptions, talked about both of the Greens being so supportive of each other. But the other interesting thing is they were both saying the same things, right? We got to stay consistent. We got to dial back a little bit on the aggression. Now, the 2 teams will switch sides every 7 points to negate the wind effects, some of the advantages, of course, when the sun is in your eyes as well. So a way to keep the playing field level.
Yeah, and really it's a non-issue today because right now there's no sun to be found in anybody's eyes. There's absolutely no wind. So it's pretty much an even-Steven match depending, regardless of what side of the court you're on. So again, La Pietra on the right side now. The swing by Perry Green. That finds the sand inside the line, and that is a point for La Pietra.
And early on, Punahou, who had talked about going after the less experienced Jessica Akiona, they served quite a bit to Perry Green, and so maybe got to get dialed in on their game plan once again.
Macomber just going to knock it over the net. And an opportunity here. They're going to set up Perry Green. Little dump shot, rolls off the tape, trying to save it. Nice job by Macomber. Now she puts it to the back end and gets it just inside the tape. And that is a point for Punahou.
Got some great defensive players on both sides there. Ari Macomber diving, laying it out, and the ability to hit the rainbow shot pretty right on the back line to finish the play.
And Macomber, you talk about the fact that she's an athlete. She's kind of one of those CrossFit queens, but she said, thank God not this weekend.
Yeah.
I've taken a break from it. It's exhausting. I'm energized. So this is what, the fifth match that both of these teams will be playing. They played last at about 9:30 this morning, at least the team from La Pietra. So they had a chance to go home, kind of rest up.
Right.
Back here on the beach.
The interesting thing, at the end of yesterday, these are the two teams that were still practicing. They were peppering outside. They have so much energy and so much excitement.
Savannah sets it up. And Macomber dug up nicely back there by Akiona. Akiona now with the left-handed roll shot right over the net for the point.
Nice touch, right? The dig, the nice roll shot. Maybe one of the hardest, most difficult skills is that transition set, high spinny pass into the wind and able to control it. Perry Green for the kill from Jessica Akiona.
And the natural lefty, that one is right on the tape. And the referee making the call in the back row, and that was pretty obvious as it went right off that big blue ribbon.
Nice set, stays behind the ball as Aria Macomber just finding that back line. We've seen a lot of cross-court, and we've seen a lot of cross-court deep plays from Macomber. See if La Pietra can make the adjustment to start covering that.
Teams switch sides again. La Pietra back on the left, Punahou on the right. Here's Perry Green. And I don't know if that was a little bit of a miss, if it just kind of went off. That's exactly what she wanted.
Perry Green is slicey and dicey, right? She's like that Ginsu knife back in the day. Look at that, just hitting the side of the ball and has such great control.
Yeah, it almost looked like, I don't want to use the word shank, but that was like one of my golf swings, but she meant to take it off the side of the hand.
Score tied at 8.
By the way, we got the whole beach vibe going this year. We got the PA system. We got the music. I mean, this is the rock and roll sport these days and one of the great sports of the Olympics. And again, right off the tape, boy, that blue line's getting a workout early and making it easy to call.
And early on, we're seeing a big contrast. The team from La Pietra, more cuts, more angles. On the other side, Punahou going more with that power game.
Akiona serves it. Here is Savannah Green. Tries the little roll shot, manages to dump it right over the net in front of both of the players for La Pietra for Punahou.
On cue, the fastball pitcher all of a sudden goes with the changeup, and you see not a player in sight. Great change of speed there.
And here's Perry Green, winds up, dug up by Macomber, and here she is, winds up and drills it right down the middle. She's only, I say only, but she's 5'7" compared to Savannah Green's 6 feet. But man, she's able to get up and hammer it straight through the defense.
Look at the hops, and it goes with the legacy. Her grandfather, Tom Hain, was my first beach partner. He was also a member of the Olympic team back in 1964.
Good teamwork. Perry Green sets it up. Here's Perry again. She's going to try to go for that corner shot and gets it in front of a diving Macomber for the point. And look at this match, tied up at 10 all.
And you talked about Perry Green on her way to USC. She's going to be one of the smaller players on the lineup, but you see the craftiness, you see the speed around the court, makes up in so many different ways.
Kind of neat in you and I talking to these two teams before, the two veterans, Green and Green. The two blondes, if you will, is ace serve, and that's going to take us to our first timeout. It's 11-10. We'll continue with our thoughts on these two teams when we come back. We're taking a break from the beach in Waikiki. Back at the beach, right here on the wall. We're on the diamond head set of the wall. You know where they do the movies on the beach, the big Hawaii 5-0 premiere. We're right under, in fact, the support for the big screen. And a lot of folks have been out here all day long. You know, one thing, rain or shine, they're ready for beach volleyball because the tents are perfect, rain or shine.
Right? The sun shining or the rain pouring down like it has throughout this weekend.
Either way, the tent comes in handy. Punahou on the left side of your screen. And there's the swing, dug up, nicely done by Akiona. And then Akiona, the little fish shot, pumps it over. Macomber sets up. Savannah Green, dug up by Perry Green. And here's Perry now. She'll get it back over the net. And that one misplayed by Savannah. And that's going to be a point for the girls from La Pietra, who jump out to a 2-point advantage. Kill number 6 there.
There's an Austrian promoter, Hannes Jagerhofer, who does the biggest beach volleyball tournaments in the world. And he said, give me a rainy day, and if we can keep the crowd, if we can keep the teams engaged, I'll show you some people that love the sport. And we saw that throughout this weekend. We didn't have any teams enter the tournament. We had capacity. We actually had to turn teams away because we didn't have enough places out here on this small beach that we have here in Queens Beach.
What is his name?
Hannes Jagerhofer.
Yes.
$5 million production.
Punahou girls on the left. Perry Green sets it up. Akiona knocks it over the net. Opportunity here. Savannah dug up by Akiona. And Akiona with a little left hand. Again, she's a natural lefty. Savannah goes for that angle, puts it right there inside the line for the point. So Punahou.
And as the wind starts picking up a little bit, that cut shot, this is the opposite wind we're used to having here at Queens Beach. We're having onshore wind because of the storm. That shot right directly into the cut shot. That's a perfect decision.
Yeah, wind was completely non-existent until about a minute and a half ago, and now it's picked up just a little bit. But again, we'll switch sides every 7 points.
And the good side, bad side becomes a little bit more into play. And on the right now, on the good side is the team from Punahou.
La Pietra on the right. Here is Punahou returning service. Slamming it into the net is Aria Macomber, point La Pietra, and the girls from the campus that's just up the hill from Diamond Head, Kapiolani Park here, up by 4 now. 15 serving 11. Serving is Akiona. Macomber into the net a second time, and it is now 16-11.
And, you know, you're starting to see some cumulative effects. You talk about a wet court being a little more jumpy, but it's also a little more like quicksand. So after a while, you start trudging through it, you're going to get a little more fatigued.
Macomber dug up by Akiona, who now tries to dump it over the net, gets just enough on it to roll it right over the tape. It trickles down for the point, and La Pietra now with a 6-point advantage and closing in on the first set.
I've been so very impressed with Jessica Akiona so far. Just a sophomore. She's, of course, got a lot of pressure because she's playing with the defending champion, Perry Green, but talked about the nerves early in the match and said, at the end of the day, I know Perry supports me. As long as I try my hardest, good things are going to happen out here.
Yeah, she said the TV thing, that's a little bit scary, but once the game starts or the match starts, she says, I'm just focused on playing volleyball, and she's been playing very well. La Pietra now on the left-hand side of your screen. Serving is going to be Aria Macomber. Here's Perry Green. Tries to cut it again and put that angle on it. Doesn't get enough on it. And it's 17-13.
And as this wind picks up just a little bit, all of a sudden you see those sets that were going perfectly on the net, they start drifting off, and you got to see players who can make some of these slight adjustments on the fly.
Perry Green's got to chase that one down, gets it over the net. Now the lefty again, the net has been very friendly on a couple of these points today, and that time very friendly to Jessica Akiona.
Great scramble, both sides. Love the energy, you love the hustle.
And a timeout is going to be taken from the girls from Punahou. You see a big smile on the face of Perry Green as her team, Team La Pietra, heads under the Zippies tent. We'll be back with more from Waikiki. Hey, welcome back to the beach, everybody. And a reminder, Jack in the Box, dedicated to making a positive difference in our community by supporting Hawaii student athletes. Jack in the Box, proud supporter of Hawaii high school athletics. Well, a lot of great sponsors out here, and you see the tents and everybody getting involved out here. It's just such a great thing it's such a natural thing, a perfect fit. Volleyball on the beach in Waikiki. Serve may have been out. Now Savannah Green chases it down and then bumped back over by Macomber. Opportunity here now, and the lefty again gets the help from the tape. I'll tell you what, Jessica Akiona has been the beneficiary of about 4 tape shots already in this first set. That's 6 kills for her.
And really, it's tough mentally, right? Because all of a sudden you got to This is a play that you can't really get to, so all of a sudden you've got to be able to reset, refocus. And Savannah Green showing you she's got the discipline, ability to do that.
Yeah, Savannah, the veteran, she said it was her time to leave La Pietra. She said to rise to the top at Punahou takes more dedication, more focus, and she's really challenged herself so that she has a lot less time. Little roll shot, Perry Green, nicely done. Shakes the sand off her hand, comes back. That little angle shot proves to be a winner yet again. Diving for it over there, not able to get there is Aria Macomber, and it is now 20 for La Pietra, closing in on the first set victory. Back there to serve is Jessica Akiona, the 5'9" sophomore. Savannah Green chasing it down, knocking it over, and that ball is out, and that is it. That is the first set. La Pietra wins it by a score of 21-14. So the girls, the Lady Panthers on the prowl. They take the first set on the beach. Stick around, everybody. We'll take a break. We will be back with more from Queens. We are back between sets 1 and 2 in the Panthers from La Pietra winning it by a score of 21-14. The winning combo of that last year's team was Perry Green and Savannah Green. Let's take a flashback look back 1 year ago, and the two girls there on the right side of your screen, the Greens. Well, they proved to be championship material, and then one of them went her own way, and today they're going against one another.
And they were the big underdogs last year. You remember they were playing against a team of Brandy Marquith, Tiana Cataldo, who were the defending champions. You had a couple of a freshman and a sophomore in the Greens who weren't sisters, but with that victory, they talked about entering a sisterhood together.
Yeah. So Savannah Green decided to go to Punahou. As soon as she did, Aria Macomber said, hey, you got to be my girl. We have got to team up. And pretty much from the day that she left Sacred Hearts, she teamed up with Aria Macomber, and they now find themselves trailing in this first set. So you have Perry Green on the right now with Jessica Akiona. Jessica, I mean, she was cute. Just talking to her, just, again, both of the girls that haven't been here were very sweet. We're very honest that, yeah, the TV thing, it's a little bit freaky, and, they haven't been there, but both of them very much giving credits to their veteran teammates who have been here, who have hoisted the trophy. So here we go, La Pietra on the right side of your screen. There's Akiona, and that is out. Let's take a look at our Pizza Hut first set stats.
Wow, you talked about La Pietra. They talked about being consistent and not making any errors. They had one hitting error. They hit 591. That's off the charts. Talk about the one thing they maybe have to clean up a little bit more, the 3 service errors, but that was a La Pietra team that was rolling on all cylinders in the first set.
I think I may have inadvertently said Savannah Green left Sacred Hearts, La Pietra, of course. In fact, all 4 of these girls, interestingly enough, at one time, all 4 of these girls attended La Pietra. Go figure. A little school on the hill turning out some big talent, and there's another roll shot off the tape.
And you start thinking about it, Mahina Elenecki, she's one of the stars, the headmaster over there at La Pietra. Another thing is it's got really close proximity to the Outrigger Canoe Club, which is one of the few public places that has beach volleyball courts, and they said they've all spent a lot of time there.
However, you asked Perry and Jessica, okay, have you guys just after school just walked down the hill and just practiced on the court there? And they both said no. You said you've never just snuck on? No. Like almost, how dare you even insinuate?
I used to sneak on when I was a kid.
In fact, Perry Green said, I hope to be a member there one day. I'm not going to sneak on and hurt my chances. There's an overpass that proves to be worthy of a point.
Wind's picking up. It's getting a little bit more frenetic course of play. All of a sudden, you've got to take that ball and you got to go a little bit lower, try to get a little bit more control. Don't want to release it too high into the elements.
And there's another point. Let's talk about the growth of this sport. Joe Kawachi over at Maunalani School building a sand court. Of course, University of Hawaii built a sand court. It's a sport still in its infancy on many levels.
And you got to talk about how this is the most successful emerging sport in NCAA history. It's gone in 4 years from 0 schools to nearly 60 institutions that have got funding. They've got scholarship support. And you look, 2 of the 4 girls out here are going to college to play on a beach volleyball scholarship. Pretty amazing.
As Savannah gets the kill, Savannah Green. And Punahou now on your right-hand side of the screen. Lady Buff and Blue, 4-3 here in the second set. La Pietra taking the first set. And then, of course, on the Olympic level, as you know, because you do the broadcasting for it, this is, with the exception of some of the glory track and field events, this is about as big as it gets when it comes to Olympic coverage.
Yeah, 30 million people tuning in for the whole last week of Olympic beach volleyball coverage. That's double the BCS football championships. To put that in perspective, that's crazy, right?
Yeah. And then, of course, when you look at the professional tour, I mean, the girls, the long bodies, the skimpy bathing suits, not at this level. It's a whole different thing.
Very tasteful out here.
But that is part of just the whole aura that is sand volleyball. It's just a fun, healthy, outdoor, golden girl and boy sport.
You're right. It's healthy. It's creative. There's only 2 people. I think a lot of times people think you get stifled indoor. You got coaches and 6 people on the court. There's a lot of freedom out here on the sand at the beach.
And there's an ace serve by Savannah. It's funny, you even asked the girls as we were talking to them, you know, do you have any coaching? Are you working with anybody? A lot of them, they pretty much do. It's just a self-motivated sport.
Or they'll go and take lessons with this person and kind of bounce back and forth. Yeah, it's a much different dynamic than you see indoor volleyball. Nice catch by you, bud, in the tent here.
Thank you very much. Got my bare feet on it. And by the way, just from a working perspective, how many people get paid to have their toes in the sand barefoot in Waikiki?
You and me, that's 2, right? We're good.
Again, Perry trying to cut off that little bit of corner, and Savannah taking it right back, but it's out, and that is going to be a point for La Pietra.
Punahou's really taken the aggressiveness up in this second set. We're having a little bit of a discrepancy here.
Yeah.
I definitely saw the line move. I thought that ball was definitely in.
Yeah, Savannah thought it was in too. Now what are they going to say? Oh, they're going to say it was out. They're not changing the point. Boy, it is a tough one. It may have been just outside. Just because that little piece of blue tape moves doesn't mean it hit it. The sand around it moves, it's going to move, and now the rain starts falling. So for the first time, the rain becomes a little bit of a factor, and I'll talk to you, ask you in a moment after this point. And there it is. Putting it down there is Jessica Akiona. As you look up, and now the rain itself isn't a big deal till you look up and it starts hitting you in the eyes.
Right, and you're trying to hit the ball and you're trying to control it. It gets a little heavier. Yeah, it really changes how the ball comes off your hand as well. Really going to make a lot of opportunities to make adjustments on the fly here.
And La Pietra, the beneficiary again of that tape, is Perry Green serves it, gets the ace serve, goes right off the top of the net. And La Pietra evens the score. We are at 7-all as everybody now starts to huddle inside. And this is where those tents come in handy for a totally different reason. Perry Green unable to chase it down. That's a point for Punahou.
You know, and Perry Green was one of the players actually who spent a lot of time in the U.S. National Youth Program. She said last year at the U.S. National Championships in Santa Monica, the conditions were very much like this, and I think it's going to be a really big advantage for me and my team going into today's match.
And look at the crowd out there, that Zippy's net right behind. Aria Macomber about to serve there, and there's about 30 people huddled under the net. She's going to go back to serve again, and look at that crowd under that Zippy's tent back there.
Zippy's has been so good. Pepsi's been so good. They brought food for all the players. They had the Gatorades and the coconut water as well. Great thanks to our great sponsors here this weekend.
So the rain is coming. The wind all of a sudden with it as this little front blows through. And that time the serve into the net.
My last championship on tour was in gale force winds in an event just like this. And it's interesting, attitude becomes everything, right? Because as soon as you start thinking, oh, this is terrible, look at the wind, how cold, you got to turn it into a fun thing out there.
Yeah. And that ball, and something just like that, it just kind of slips off your hand a little bit. But again, the girls are saying, you know what, we don't have to worry about that burning hot sand. They loved the cool sand and the cool conditions. But this is a little bit more of a challenge now that it's dumping, and it's coming down pretty hard. You can't see it maybe as well on camera as it's really coming down, but it's coming. That ball is hit, and that ball is in. Perry Green decides to let it go, and it comes down just inside the tape. That's a point for Punahou, kill number 7.
Nice deep swing once again. So now La Pietra, the team on the right side of your screen, with the wind at their back, that's not a good place to be because the ball could really move a lot more coming your direction.
Green sets it over. Akiona, save there by Savannah Green. Here's Savannah. No, ball over the net. Now a little joust at the net. Savannah takes it. And then Perry Green trying to just dink it over and hits it backwards. That's going to be a point for the Buff and Blue. And now they jump out to a 4-point advantage. Remember, we go 21-21, the third set only to 15. So Punahou trying to even the score as Savannah Green hits it into the net. The two teams will switch sides in a 4-point differential and 3-point differential. That takes us to 21 cumulative points, and that's a timeout. We'll be back with more. Stick around from a now soggy beach at Waikiki. Wow, well, Waikiki, it is the dream of many. This is the nightmare of some. People save up for a lifetime to be here, but you know what? It's still warm outside, Kevin. We're still barefoot with our toes in the sand, but it is coming down. And for the fans that were in attendance, and make no mistake, there's a lot of folks out here in tents completely surrounding this, but it has come on. And you had mentioned it's an onshore storm, which is kind of a backwards or Kona-type storm.
And that's the only time you really get this kind of windy, rainy conditions in Waikiki.
Right, Waikiki does not rain. Don't tell that to anybody today. The girls are smiling though, because like you say, you've just got to embrace it and roll with it. That ball is going toward the back and it's going to blow out and go long. And so Punahou now 13-9.
You're seeing a little more communicating, right? A little louder communicating. It gets more noisy out there, and they're doing a really good job of making those kind of adjustments here.
Boy, all of our officials and everybody out there, God bless them. As we sit here under a tent that cross our fingers holds, because we got a lot of expensive electrical equipment out here. And not to mention all of our camera guys that are doing their best to keep their equipment dry. I mean, they'll sacrifice themselves. It's the equipment that they work to keep dry. And there's another ace serve delivered over there by Jessica Akiona.
So La Pietra switched over to the good side, serving into the wind, serving into the rain.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're saying there's a good side?
Oh yeah. There's a rainbow and sun on one side. You don't see it?
Right. You can hear that wind though whipping around, that's for sure, and a nice little touch over. And the team of Punahou, Savannah Green, Aria Macomber, get the point. So it's Punahou, Savannah Green, Aria Macomber, La Pietra on the left side, Perry Green, and Jessica Akiona. Here's Perry Green, goes up, hits it, dug up by Savannah Green. Savannah now on the receiving end of the setup. Nicely dug up, but unable to get there is Akiona, and another point for Punahou. And now the Buff and Blue starting to close in here on the second set as Green gets kill number 9. Punahou serving up by 4. There's that tape ball, this time Punahou taking advantage of the ribbon.
And it always has a way of equalizing, right? So La Pietra got some in the first set. Here, Punahou gets it in the second set. This is dumping. This is about as much rain as you're ever going to see in Hawaii, and yet here we are playing beach volleyball.
Yeah, and like you say, Waikiki, usually the clouds, they come over the ko'olaus and they kind of disperse.
Really interesting. You take a look in the middle. He's in a dual role. He's keeping score. That's Ian Green. That's Savannah Green's dad. Really fell in love with the sport. I think a lot of that, the success his daughter had, the fun she had playing in our prep championships last year, and he's actually gone through the certification, and here he is, a proud dad, but a working dad.
Trying to fist it in there, and it's into the net. You know, I do want to give props to our guys, our whole crew here, because remember, this whole crew, much of these same guys that are out here today were out there at Aloha Stadium on Friday night when, congrats to Kahuku, the state champions, but they were battling the elements all night Friday, and here they are. It looked like maybe we were going to dodge a bullet, but now all of a sudden we're getting blasted as that ball is hit out and wide. Point for Punahou. There's Trevor somewhere in there. Yeah, like I said, you will bounce back. There's Mike Gonzalez.
Trevor's got a lot more coverage going on. Mike's out there with his guns.
You know, sorry to say it, the humans will bounce back tomorrow. The equipment, you know, that's where you got to be careful. No disrespect to the human operators, but, and they know it too. I mean, they'll do everything possible to keep the equipment dry and sacrifice themselves in the process. 17-14 our score. It looks like, I know this sounds funny, but it looks like it's getting a little brighter. The rain's not letting up, but it's getting brighter. What does that mean? At the moment, nothing. Perry chasing it down, tries to swing at it. And also, now every time your hands get sandy and you're just, there's Jared back there. We go through all of our camera guys. Sean on the Steadicam. Oh my goodness.
We got a 10. We're lucky over here.
Oh yeah. We're getting a few drips.
Oh wow.
Look out, girls falling over one another and then getting back up. Savannah with the assist. Savannah with the kill.
Play of the match.
Boy, the two girls for Punahou. Savannah tripping over her teammate, Arya Macomber, and then manages to get back up and get the point. And they play on, 19-14. Perry Green gets it over. Here comes Savannah yet again. And that's off the block, down for the point, and it is point for Punahou. And here we are. Here's what's going on here.
Let's not make it too glamorous. Right? I used to have notes here.
Well, fortunately, it's not 11-on-11 football or even 6 or 6-on-6. We only need to remember 4 names. We could do that. So they take a little break here at 20-14. And what did I say about it getting lighter? Look, it's lightening up just a little bit.
It's got a lot more to go. You know what? Talking to Carrie Walsh Jennings, the 3-time gold medalist, as she was getting ready for the Beijing gold medal final, it started dumping just like this. And you talk to her, you listen to the quotes, and her thing time and time again was there was events, there was times in practice where it was raining, and I knew that other people were calling it easy. They were calling it quits. They were going in and getting a latte and getting out of the weather. But every single time we had that situation, we put in the time, we did the work, and I think you're seeing exactly that out here today.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's Championship Sunday, so rain or shine, wind or none, they're going to be out here battling, and it looks like we will be going to a third winner-take-all to 15 set. How hard is it just to be able to keep your hands sand-free and somewhat dry?
Oh, you don't even try to do that at this point, right? And you see, right, you don't see any hand setting because it becomes too dangerous. You can slip through your hands. You can double contact it.
What I'm shocked, though, is that there's no towels that they even bother wiping their hands off between points. No sense?
It's not golf, Dash. This is beach volleyball. You get sandy. How soft you've become.
Oh, God, that's beautiful. For the match, or rather, excuse me, for the set, the diving effort and not so fast as the team of Perry Green and Jessica Akiona extend this second set. It is now 20-15, 13th kill there for Perry Green. And just a quick clarification, Perry Green wanted to know, am I serving or is Jessica serving? And then they realized that we're at a multiple of 7, so the two teams switch sides. So set point for Punahou. Savannah Green. And Arya Macomber. Here's Macomber. She's not going to be able to get to that one. It turns out to be an ace serve, and don't say it's over yet. 20-16. The Lady Panthers would love to rally back, score 4 straight, not even have to play a third. There's a free ball. It's going to be slapped out. It's 20-17.
Right, and just that little pitter-patter, those footsteps you start hearing, and they've just burned through that timeout. So all of a sudden, are they going to be able to regroup here and refocus?
Swinging. Good save there by Perry Green. Now Perry trying to get it over the net. She does it, and that is it. The second set comes to a conclusion. And so we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. It's going to be a third set to 15 with the winner taking the championship. Stick around. High drama on the beach in Waikiki on OC16. All righty, back on the beach, and for the moment, the wind and the rain has let up considerably. And wouldn't it be nice if for this final set, which is only to 15, the elements weren't part of the battle?
You know, a lot of people talked along the way. Right in the middle of your screen, Janine Mamiya Kalahiki there in the white hat and the black shirt. She's actually an integral part of putting this together. 3 years ago, she said, beach volleyball getting really big. What do we need to do to make it a Hawaii Prep Championships? And the marketing director at Zippy's, I'll tell you what, she's the one who led us down this path and really calls a lot of the shots and made this very possible.
Oh, so very cool. Let's take a look at our second half stats, Kev, as we get ready for the third and final set. Second set by Pizza Hut. Here you go.
And all of a sudden, the roles have reversed. Punahou's offense starting to click into gear. La Pietra, who had played nearly flawless, the one error in the first set turns into 4 errors in the second. Got to clean that up, but good high-level play from both teams.
And we are off. Punahou on the right side. Overpass. Here's Perry Green. There's that little chip shot that she does so well. I honestly thought the first time she did that it was a miss. Now that she's done it about 5 times, it's very clear that she knows how to hit that perfect little chip shot off the right side of her hand. That's her 14th kill.
So hard to do, like a fadeaway shot, right? She's jumping one way, hitting the other.
Savannah Green setting it up. Here's Aria Macomber, dug up. Off the arms of Akiona and out. We are even at 1. So again, this third set, it is only to 15. Got to win by 2. For the championship. Perry Green sets it up. Perry's going to get it back, eyes that back area, and she hits it right into that spot. Really nice job. The set was put up, and she took her eye off the ball just long enough to kind of give that quick glance. There it was. And she found that deep spot.
Look at you. That's high level announcing, high level volleyball playing as well. Taking the eye off and seeing the court.
Good contact, but out. Trying to take a really good swing at it was Macomber.
And we've seen in both sets, the teams that have had the early success, the early luck, have really been a lot more comfortable and in control. So these early points in the third set, even more important.
Here's Macomber again, and that again, off the arms and out of Jessica Akiona. It'll be 2 serving 3. Back to serve is Savannah Green. Akiona, a little dump shot, perfect. And it's 4-2 for the girls from Sacred Hearts on the left side of your screen.
Really impressed by the job Akiona has done as well as Macomber. Those were the 2 players who come in much less experienced, not the defending champions, and yet they've played at a very high level here in this Bright Lights match.
So they switch sides again. It'll be La Pietra serving on the right side of your screen. They lead it by 3. Remember, set only to 15. And the swing, dug up. The lefty again, perfectly puts it down there.
How much composure is she playing with, right? The bright smile, you can't even see a hint of nerves. Ability to slow it down a little bit, find that court. Look at that. Love the communication, love the composure.
Savannah Green setting it up. Perry Green digs it up. Now Perry. Again, that quick little taking the eye off, and this time unable to get it over the net. Point Punahou.
And sometimes in the weather, with the conditions, it becomes a little more complicated. Think about all of a sudden, instead of taking your eye off a stationary topic, you're watching a moving ball in the moving, gusting wind. Maybe you got to keep it a little more simple as Perry Green. Another hitting
point.
error from Perry Green. All of a sudden, you're going to have the 5-5, 5-4 switch nearly coming up. Punahou 4 serving 5 for La Pietra.
Back to serve it up. That's Aria Macomber, 5'7" sophomore. No seniors out here at all, and that's the ace serve. So she gets the point, and we are tied back up at 5-all.
Nice float serve, no spin on it, forces it to duck and weave across that net. Now you see Punahou coming over to the bad side, and you have La Pietra. Look at the gusting Pepsi flag in the back. It tells you exactly where that wind direction is going.
Good news, though, for the moment, no rain. So the rain has pretty much completely let up for this third and final set. Here's Perry Green. There's the little touch shot over the big 6-footer Savannah Green, her former teammate whom she won a championship with last year. If you joined us late, that's one of the great storylines. Green on now Punahou and Green on La Pietra were teammates. They won the title last year for La Pietra, and then Savannah Green departed for Punahou, and here they are going against each other in the championships again. Macomber. Nice play to keep it alive. Perry Green chases it down. Well played, and then over the net by Akiona, and then smacking it into the top of the tape is Savannah Green. You could hear that microphone picking up that whip.
Right, shows you all the power she's got hitting the cable, but look at the hustle play. Akiona, a good dig, a spectacular rundown, great control from Perry Green.
The communication. Oh, look at that. Akiona gets it over. Here's Perry again. Takes her eyes off. Again, just that ability to take that quick glance across the net before she figures out where to hit it. There's just a little knock over the net. Both teams talked about being a little extra cautious, especially now in these conditions. And there's Perry with the fish shot, chased down by Savannah Green. Here's Savannah back the other way. That's good for the winner.
Rally of the match, back and forth, little dink shots, little short shots, and then all of a sudden, Savannah Green brings out the hammer for the put away.
Lucky kill number 13. It's a 7-6 La Pietra lead. Punahou will be serving. Savannah Green to do the honors. And into the net it goes. We're even at 7, so the two teams should be switching sides right here, correct?
15 on the third set. Every 5 points.
Every 5 points in the third set, pardon me.
So one more point here.
So 8 serving 6. La Pietra on the left, Punahou on the right. That serve is out. And a good call that time by Aria Macomber. So now they will switch sides.
You know, the interesting personality types. You talked to Perry Green here in your foreground about playing against her old partner. She said, bring it. I love playing against Savvy. On the other side, Savannah Green said, I have so much respect, learned so much from Perry along the way.
The one thing that I love from Savannah Green, she says, hey, I want to graduate with 4 plaques. I want 4 plaques. Oh, that ball over the net and a little bit of a deke by Perry Green. Made like that was going to be a hittable pass, hittable set, but I think she knew it was over the net all the while.
Right, actually over on 2, making the play. And then look at, once again, Aria Macomber with the great hustle, play, and effort.
9 serving 7. Jessica Akiona, the lefty, swats it over. Overpass. Nice hustle by Perry Green, but then Akiona unable to keep it in play. Point for Punahou, and it's back to a 1-point set.
Savannah Green talked about coming in last year as one of the underdogs, didn't really know what to expect this year. She said the TV, the plaques, the excitement, this is something I'm really gearing up for.
Here's Perry Green, goes cross court. That ball is in. That is a point. And it's 10-8.
Love the control. Look at the great set from Jessica Akiona, and then just finding the cut shot.
Ball, that's over. Akiona sets it up. It's going to go back to her. Here's Savannah. Perry Green keeps it alive. Back to Perry. Just trying to put it in that front right quadrant, and what a perfect touch. What a difficult shot that is.
Amazing. You look, talk about Savannah Green with the length, her ability to lean out and make the play, but this is nearly perfect, just slicing along the net. And she's shown depth. She's shown the short call as well. I really like this timeout here from the team of Savannah Green and Aria Macomber, showing a lot of maturity level as well.
Boy, that was such a difficult shot. She did it almost seemingly so nonchalantly, but just wonderfully done for her 18th kill. So they'll retire to their 10th for the moment.
Look at this duo, so much chemistry, great friends off the court. You talked about they both transferred at different times from La Pietra to Punahou, and they said, hey, when we do it, when we get to this new team, we're dialed in. We're going to be teammates in the Hawaii Prep Championships.
So a couple of points, 4 points away, La Pietra, and again, what a great storyline that these two girls, Green and Green, who won a championship last year for the Panthers, separated as Savannah Green goes to Punahou, and here they are going up against one another in a championship match a year later. There's Perry Green on the left there, getting her a little drink of water. Boy, they'll be pulling grains of sand out probably for days to come, right?
Yeah, you just let it go, and the next thing you know, you have sand in the carpets and in the living room, in the car. Yeah, it's part of the life.
They'll be finding it in their ears, between their toes and their hair, probably on Thursday of this week.
I guess your wood play on the golf course pretty good. You don't get any sand out there, huh?
Hard to avoid the sandboxes on a golf course. Oh, trying to go cross court, I believe, with Savannah Green. Didn't get it over the net, and now getting closer and closer. A 4-point differential, and I think Perry Green, they're starting to taste it right now.
Now with the...
At 20 points, yep, they're going to flip it around. It is 12-8. It'll be 12 serving 8. Perry Green with the volleyball. So La Pietra, the small school with the big volleyball history. You mentioned the headmaster over there, Mahina Eleneki, former University of Hawaii star. And that one just out. So inching closer. It is now 13-8 and almost affording herself a chance to smile as Perry Green on the serve. There's Savannah Green. Perry chases it down. Akiona with the hustle play, but not able to get it inside the antenna and inside the tape. It'll be point Punahou.
Great team hustle, great team athleticism. They're not guessing on this, right? They're balanced, they're staying deep, the ability to make the read, nearly making the play as well. La Pietra's been the better defensive playing team here today so far.
There's Aria Macomber, only a sophomore. 3 sophomores and 1 junior. Perry Green, the junior. There's Perry trying to chase it down, but that's outside the antenna. That'll be a point for Punahou.
You see the communication. La Pietra giving up a couple of points here this set. Pulling a little bit outside. They've got a timeout as well. Punahou did a really good job of using their timeout. See if La Pietra can do the same or whether they don't need it at all.
There's Perry Green trying to get to the penultimate point here. Perry again will have another chance. This time winds up, hits it long, and it's 11 serving 13.
Oh, and the look of disbelief right there. Perfect pass. And said just carrying a bit long. What a run this team from Punahou has made.
A little bit envisioning there. You can see closing the eyes, Aria Macomber trying to visualize her team winning this point. Here is Macomber, no, ball hit over the net. Perry Green chases it down. Here's Perry now, tries to go cross court. Savannah keeps it alive. She's not going to get to that one. Point La Pietra. It is match point. They will be serving for a state championship after the 2 teams switch sides. Oh boy, it's almost an insurmountable hole to climb out of for Punahou, but never say never. But it's tough.
On the good side though, right? On the good side, they're receiving serve. This is about ideal situations if you wanted to mount a play. So they got to take care of this first pass, get a point, put up some tough serves, not too much territory to cover.
Aria Macomber was back there trying to pull sand out of her eyes. Look for the serve to go right at Macomber. There it is. They said they were going to go after the lesser of the 2 experienced players. Perry Green keeps it alive. Akiona knocks it over the net. What a save. And unfortunately for Punahou, Savannah Green unable to come up with it, and that is it. The championship for the second year in a row goes to La Pietra, and for Perry Green, it is back-to-back.
Wow, how sweet it is. Two great plays at the very end. Jessica Akiona able to get into the angle, make the dig, and then stays behind the ball and finds gold at the end of the rainbow.
One team is going to have a player that wins 2 in a row. It's Perry Green. And welcome back, everybody, to Queens Beach here in Waikiki. I don't know that I could say it's a beautiful afternoon, but it was a beautiful afternoon for a couple of girls who go to school on the campus of La Pietra, just on the hill right above us. But anyway, it's a still scenic day here in Waikiki. It's always beautiful on the beach, especially when you win a championship. And we knew one girl, Kevin Wong, was going to be back-to-back. It was either going to be green or green. But was it going to be Perry or Savannah? In the end, it is Perry Green, who teams up this year with a new teammate and Jessica Akiona. And we're happy to be joined by those two girls here, and Sandy, Sweaty, and Tall, because we gave them the big chairs because you guys are the big queens of the beach. First of all, congratulations. How much fun was that? Share the microphone. Oh, she's going to defer to the girl who's never done this before. So talk about this this match today.
It was definitely a one-in-a-lifetime experience, especially for my first time being in beach. I was so happy to be partners with Perry, so she pushed me really hard. She was definitely my anchor in the tournament.
You told us before that you really looked up to her because she has been here. That she was a mentor, she was a coach, she was a leader. Talk about this match and talk about, did you lean on her in that second set when that weather blew in? What was that like?
Yeah, I definitely did. I feel like I burned her just a little bit too much, but she's definitely helped me through the whole weather and everything. Yeah.
Emotional moment for both players. At one point in time, I think, talk about the attitude, Perry, coming in, playing against maybe someone that you know well, often on the court, and your championship teammate from last year playing against Savannah.
Well, you know, if you play someone, you definitely know their strengths and weaknesses. And, you know, it helps. But then again, she knows my strengths and weaknesses. So it's about even. But it definitely helps the strategy before. And, you know, we talked about it because we had to break in between the semi and this. So we were able to discuss strategy and be able to execute.
All right, well, we want to go back and look at some of the highlights. You talk about strategy, you talk about executing. How tough was it to even think about strategy and execution during that second set? Have you ever played in conditions like that, by the way?
I did once in California at the HP Championships. It was thunderstorming, we got delayed and everything, but out here, I mean, at least we could see that, and here is like, you turn, the rain is like right in your eyes. I'm so used to saying sun, but the rain was like, can't see anything, and I know her contacts got messed up, and it was like, okay, just try to hit the ball, like, yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, you're a champion yet again, and you get to come back here a third year. Yeah. I mean, you still got another year of this. You got a few more years of this.
Yeah.
So now you got to think back to back to back.
I'm down.
You're down.
Bring it, I'll take it.
Is there going to be some friendly ribbing with you and your other green partner over there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm sure there'll be a few text messages like, good game, okay.
Jessica, talk about the last thing. Talk about how nervous at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, midway through that set, the smiles started coming a little more easy.
Yeah.
Well, what was the part of that process?
Perry always reminds me to smile. I'm so serious, and her telling me to smile definitely helps me get my head back into the game and realize that in the end, it's about having fun and pushing hard, and Perry's definitely a fun person, for sure.
Well, one final thing. I know you both wanted to say thanks to your family. A couple shout-outs because through thick and thin, through rain and shine, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, congratulations to both of you. Here's our impact player.
Thank you.
We're going to keep it in plastic because you never know what's going to go on with the winner. But there you go. Perry Green and Jessica Akiona, your 2015 Sand Volleyball champions. Congratulations to them. We're going to let them go back and kind of celebrate their moment. And then we're going to stick around, and we're going to have a little 4-on-4 volleyball coming our way in just a few seconds from now. So stick around, everybody. Much more coming your way from the beach here in Waikiki. Oh, it was a good first match and much more to come. Glad you could join us here on a Sunday afternoon. And welcome back, everybody. We're back on the beach at Waikiki. We've had a little bit of everything today. It started off to be very nice. It wasn't raining. It was overcast, but it was pleasant. We got the first set in the books for the girls' championship match. And then all of a sudden, Mother Nature said, you know what? I think I'm going to be the starring dominant presence in set number 2. And boy, was she. It just started hammering wind and rain. But they played through it. Punahou came back to take the second set, and then the rain stopped, and so it was pretty much a chance for all 4 girls, the 2 teams, to come out and show their stuff in the final set. And in the end, it was La Pietra winning that third set score, going 15-11. And again, congratulations to Perry Green and Jessica Akiona. And again, Perry Green's a junior. She's won 2 in a row. She'll be back, and all the other girls are sophomores, so a lot more beach volleyball to be played for them should they be fortunate enough to make it back here again next year. Well, Kevin Wong has kind of headed out to the beach, and he's rousting up some of the players. We have a 4-on-4 exhibition. For Kevin, this is more than just helping me out as a broadcaster and someone who knows the game. He's the organizer of this entire event and is so instrumental in sand volleyball. But anyway, we have 4 teams that are going to be coming your way as they're going to be coming and playing here in just a moment. It's going to be 4-on-4 volleyball. We're going to have Team Mauka, Hope Carter, Mapuhola Sekona from Mid-Pac. Hope is from Mililani. And then you have Bree Nishimura and Kaylee Young, each from Hawaii Baptist. That is Team Mauka. And Dane Selznick is going to be the Mauka head coach. And really want to say mahalo to all these guys. First, he's got to pull out the cash. He's not paying the kids to play, but maybe a snack or 2, maybe some Gatorade. Because a lot of these kids, I mean, truthfully, that are playing in this match, they've been out here all day. They've been playing in their own respective tournament. So this is Team Makai, or maybe Team Imua, because it's all Kamehameha schools. You have from Kapalama, Lauren Condon and Kaira Hanawahine. And then from Kamehameha School, Hawaii, you have Kamalu Maketau Whitaker and Kiani Troy. So again, we got a little 4-on-4 fun to come your way, just as the boys have a chance to rest up. And Koichi Nishimura is going to be the head coach of Team Makai.
Hawaii Tourism Authority. Spike and serve.
So anyway, while this goes on, we will take a short break, and we will be back. We'll get Kevin Wong back in the box. A little bit more volleyball coming your way from the beach. Chilling on a beach on a Sunday afternoon in Waikiki. It doesn't get much better than that. And then the rain comes, and you get wet. So big deal. Gets wet, jump in the water. And then there's this, about 30 or so paces from the water. We got volleyball. And let's go through and let's take a look at Team Mauka, coached by Dane Selznick. And talk to me about this team.
Hope Carter, of course, the setter galore from Mililani. Mapu Sekona, one of the great up-and-coming beach volleyball players through the state. She plays at a high level at her high school as well as club. Got a couple of Hawaii Baptist members of that D2 state championship team. Bree Nishimura, who was on the right side, comes in and plays right side here on the beach. And Kylie Young, who did such a good job as the libero in that championship match versus Les Jardins, really stepping it up, and she will be manning the defense here for Team Mauka.
Alrighty, now once again, a little bit more individual depth on Team Makai, coached by Koichi Nishimura. And it's an all Kamehameha affair.
Yeah, we got some Kamehameha teams from some different Kamehameha locations,
That's right.
We had actually 3 different Kamehameha schools represented this weekend, and we're going to see a couple of them here. Kamalu Makekau Whitaker, the all-star setter, who's from Kamehameha Schools Hawaii, who's going on her way to play at Northridge next year. Lauren Condon, who is really one of the stars of that high school championship match against Iolani for the D1 finals. Keani Troy, a great all-around player, also from Kamehameha Schools, Hawaii, and then the libero play on both sides going to be at a very high level because Kairahana Wahine did such a fabulous job. I think she had nearly 40 digs in that D1 championship final out of Blaisdell.
And so here we are. So how challenging is this when all of a sudden you throw 4 people together who've never really played before, but I'm thinking that they're also good at it's almost seamless.
It'll be pretty seamless. You got 2 players. They've been playing with pairs, doubles all weekend long. So all of a sudden you got 2 more people covering the court, and they're used to playing with 6 indoors. So this should be a very seamless transition.
Well, let's talk about Kevin Wong a little bit while we got a chance. We had a little bit of a blurb earlier that, you know, you did a little thing, the Olympics in London. You did the Olympics in Athens too, right?
I played in Sydney, and then I did the broadcast at London, and I will also be doing the broadcast at Rio. Exactly. But this is one of our coaches here today, Dane Selznick, and of course the team that he took to the top of the mountain, Terry Walsh Jennings, Misty May Trainer as well, the 3-time gold medalist. This is a guy who gets hired by China now, Russia. He spent a lot of time helping the national programs in a lot of different countries.
Pretty cool. And then talk to me about the coach on the other side, Koichi Nishimura.
Koichi Nishimura, one of the big stars out of Japan. You talk about people who are big in Japan. This guy is the biggest in Japan. The star of the indoor national team was the libero. A lot of rumors that he made $1 million a year playing for libero for the national team program, and then has made his way to the beach. And he really a lot of personality.
Wow. Well, talk to me about that first set. Are you surprised by what we saw? We saw the #1 seed that was La Pietra, so I guess it's by no surprise that they would have won. It's certainly not an upset, but it was a match that could have gone either way because both of those teams pretty evenly matched, very talented.
And right, it went to 3 sets, and I think it came down to a little bit of chemistry maybe between the team of Jessica Akiona and Perry Green. How well-spoken was Akiona, right? She comes in here.
Sophomore.
Right, just a sophomore on the big stage. This is the first time she's ever played televised. Hasn't played a lot of beach volleyball before, but really delivered here.
Yeah, and just to keep your composure, if you weren't watching in set #2, man, all of a sudden it was like Armageddon out here. Wind started probably blowing at about 25, 30 miles per hour. Wind was coming down sideways. I mean, you just literally trying to weather the storm through that.
And they did, right?
Yeah,
they
did.
lost that second set, but they were able to turn it around, and you could see them constantly tapping in, getting the chemistry flowing, and I think that was really a big part of the victory.
Yeah. Good stuff down here on the beach. All right, let's talk about our officials here for this 4-on-4 match. Kevin Wong, and again, a lot of experience out here. Guys, if you follow volleyball a lot, Mark Larabus, Leslie Mosqueda, Christopher Torr, you talked about him. There's the guy in the beard who's got tons of international experience, and you said he'll likely be officiating in Rio. And then Ian Green.
Ian Green, the father of the silver medalist in our last match, Savannah Green, and so a guy who really has fell in love with the sport and really taken some active steps. And we have a burgeoning and growing population and energy here in this beach volleyball community.
All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun here. We're going to play one quick set, and then we're going to take about a 15-minute break just for your own personal planning purposes. And then we're going to be back with the boys, and they just wrapped up not too long ago. Do we even know who our 2 boys teams are?
We got Punahou versus Punahou, and a couple of teams with a lot of history, a lot of indoor and beach volleyball history along the way.
So Punahou versus Punahou. Each school, is there an amount to how many teams they're allowed to field?
No, this is not HHSAA. This is prep championships, and something that we designed along the way because all the leagues are not ready to commit some of the funds. They're not ready to commit to the sport of beach volleyball until they are, and we hope they will someday. Until they are, we want to make this venue and this format for the sport of beach volleyball here in Hawaii.
So basically any twosome that wants to enter can enter in.
And 60 of them did, and we actually had to turn down 5 or 6 teams because we had no more space left.
Pretty impressive. Okay, so we are underway. And I'm going to let Kevin take the lead on a lot of the names here because you know these young ladies a lot better than I.
And you got on the good side, you've got the team that's a little mixed. A couple of HBA players. You've got Akiona in the green shirt at the net setting, the gray slacks with her back towards us. And receiving serve right now will be the combined Kamehameha schools, Kapalama and Hawaii.
And that net serve, boy, that net, the tape really was a kind of a starring character in that first match.
And 10 years ago, they changed that rule. It used to be like in tennis,
yeah,
where
if
there was a net, the play was over. But we instituted the rule where you could have a let, and it's created a lot more rallies. Some plays occasionally like that, but on the whole, you get a lot more good rallies for those occasional plays. So I like the trade-off.
Do you? That one into the net doesn't go over. So all these girls that we're seeing out here, every single one of them has been playing in matches out here for the past couple of days. Again, on the women's side or on the girls' side, started off with 40 schools.
40 schools. We had 24 different schools. So
or actually, I should say 40 teams.
40 teams, 24 different schools. Great distribution. We had teams coming in from Waianae this year, teams from Maui and the Big Island as well.
Yeah, they're getting no support. It's pretty much mom and dad and self-financed, right?
Right.
And that's where you said we're HHSAA or HHSAA. I had it right. They're the ones that fund all the travel, and it's certainly no inexpensive venture. That Chris Chun has a lot of challenges and a lot of expense, and part of the reason why in years past some of the other sports they've chosen to do the first and second rounds on the actual islands and not travel until the later rounds. One, to give a home advantage to some of those neighbor island schools, but it's also certainly a fund-saving mechanism as well.
On the outside, taking the swing there, Lauren Condon in the dark blue Kamehameha Schools shirt. She was actually one of the stars of that championship match against Iolani. Kamehameha gets up 2-0, everything seemingly looking very smooth and easy, and all of a sudden the team from Iolani, Kainoa Obrea, you've got Sierra Busher, Moya Kekaoha really fighting back and made it all the way to a very tight battle in 5 sets.
So you have team now, Mauka is on the right of your screen, Makai, which is all the combined Kamehameha Schools teams, on your left. Slaps it over there. Kind of a different world when you have 4-on-4 and you actually have a setter in the mix.
You've got a setter, you've got a libero in the mix, so all of a sudden your first and second contacts are going to be a little bit better. The rallies are oftentimes much better as well because you've got more coverage on the court.
Team Mauka serving that one long, point for Makai.
In my dream world, I think that the NCAA championships would take a little more of a hybrid role where they'd have doubles teams, and then maybe those 2 doubles teams make a 4 or team of 4, and that kind of is the tiebreaker. I think that would be a great format. Blocked by Hope Carter. Of course, her sister Nikki Carter had the terrible knee injury in her senior year, and it really helped allow and pay for that transition. All of a sudden, Hope Carter made the transition from outside hitter to the setting position, and she's one of the better young setters in the state now.
Nice job of chasing it down. Good hustle play there. And into the net. That'll be point for Team Mauka as they jump ahead 9-3. We're just doing one set here, right?
1 set to 21. Going to be fast and furious.
And that one's going to be off. And head back towards the tents.
And Lauren Condon absolutely teeing off on the outside. Look at the beautiful bump set. And delivering. You get a ball past Kylie Young, you hit a good one because she's one of the better defenders in the state.
Another serve that trickles down over the tape. Kept alive nicely. And a little bit of rain coming back. It was starting to look as if it were going to get a little bit brighter outside as Hope Carter knocks it over from Mililani.
Hope Carter played in this doubles event this weekend with Ashley Pollack, and they had a very respectable finish near the top of the silver bracket. And that's a team that has a lot of ball control. They've got a lot of power and strength, and just need a little more time in the sand.
So the Kamehameha Schools team, which is Team Mackay, now on the right side of your TV screen. Two girls from Kamehameha Kapalama, Lauren Condon and Kaira Hanawahine, and Kiani Choi and Kamalu Makekau Whitaker from Kamehameha Schools, Hawaii.
Oh, and they got the libero taking swings on in the middle of the offense. Love it.
And that one just off the tape, unable to get back after the swing.
And you're seeing the challenges of putting the ball down against 4 defenders. And right now, so far, the one who's actually met the challenge the best is back at the service line. Hope Carter's been the offense for this Mauka squad.
3 kills for Hope and sends that one long. So point Team Mackay.
Bree Nishimura, I tell you, as we watched the D2 championship game between Le Jardin and HBA, Bree Nishimura, just a freshman, loved her ability to deal with pressure, loved her ability to bring some offense. She's only 5'7" or so, but good timing, great arm swing, stays behind the ball. The best offense so far for this Mackay team. Up the middle, Kaira Hanawahine saying, set me the ball. Defensively, of course, indoor, she's going to be just a libero, so playing just in the back row, but no different color jersey here today.
Well, let's see if she tracks it down. No, they hit away from Hanawahine, and the ball goes out, and we are at 13-6 Mauka.
Nice looking cut shot. This time, again, the runner from Bree Nishimura finding a lot of offense.
Again, Hope Carter.
And on the right side for the team from Kamehameha, that's Kamalu Makekau Whitaker finding the hands. Actually a converted setter. She will go on to play the setting position for Jeff Stork over at Northridge, but here having to do some hitting duties.
And that ball comes down just about on top of the tape in the antenna.
You know, for those young players out there watching at home or watching here in the sand as well, love the communication. You can hear it clear as day over our microphones. Balls in, balls out. I got it, you got it. Just great volleyball IQ here in the state of Hawaii.
Team Mackay now heads over to the left-hand side of your string. Team Mauka, coached by Dane Selznick. That's Hope Carter, Mapuse Kona, Bree Nishimura, and Kylie Young from Mililani Mid-Pac Institute and HBA twice. Nishimura and Young from Hawaii Baptist. Oh, nice block.
Such a great athlete. We played some softball in her career at Mililani, some basketball, and love the swing block to the outside here in the brown jersey. Brown and gold for Mililani.
That's Hope Carter. And the serve goes long.
Miles Shoji brought the championships tradition back to HBA, won 2006 to 2008, but it was a little bit of a journey to get back to the finals.
That time Hope Carter trying to bite off a little bit too much, hits it wide and out.
And Kylie Lung all week long was playing with Nanea Lum, who was really the big offensive weapon for the HBA Eagles throughout the state tournament.
Floats it over, they're gonna set it to the far side and not getting up quite high enough.
Some of the challenges now, a little more wind. We've seen it go. Well, how crazy has this weekend been, right? The rain comes and goes, the wind comes and goes. It's been very unpredictable throughout.
Pretty much every island in the chain under a minimum of flash flood watch and flash flood warnings for a good chunk of the Hawaiian Islands over the course of the last 3 days, and it's expected to continue well through tomorrow.
And I had parents throughout the week saying, hey, are we still on? Are we still on? And not one team dropped out because of the weather, Dash.
That's pretty amazing, especially teams coming in, as you said, funding themselves from all the neighbor islands, and you know, they made a commitment. They came to play.
Right.
They didn't come to shop. They can do that when it gets dark.
Black Friday just around the corner, right?
Oh, are you ready for that?
It's not really one of my big holidays on my list.
No. Shopping for me is right up there with the trip to the dentist. Nice swing, but the ball ruled just out.
Guy Enriquez, Kamehameha School's Hawaii coach, who's been to the state tournament quite a bit. He brought a contingent of 4 players on the men's side, including his two twin sons, Addison.
Boy, I remember when OC16 went over to that beautiful campus on the Big Island about, what, 4 years ago, and
right.
did a championship match there. A lot of fun.
You know, a lot of great places throughout the years, right? It's been amazing what Mitzi Lejano and Dave Vinton have done, as well as bringing on XCast over the last couple years.
Yeah, a lot of people have been kept awfully busy on the sports broadcast front. Not just the broadcasting side, but the production side, all the technical side. And again, to the folks out here today, man, they braved the elements on a Friday night at Aloha Stadium, and here they are yet again. As we talk to you from the comfy confines of our dry tent. Net violation is going to be called. That's going to be a point for Team Mauka. Or Team Makai, excuse me.
Kai mounting a last-ditch effort here, down by 5 points on the bad side.
That's Makai serving, the Kamehameha Schools team combined. Here's Hope. Assist to the net. Nice job in the back row over there by Make Kyle Whitaker.
Calling a double contact over the net. On that play where you bump it over, you've got to have your hands together, or else they call it as 2 separate contacts. Good call. Last couple of plays by the libero for Makai. Kyra Hanawahine will be on her way, just committed to the University of Oregon to play for their volleyball team.
Good for her.
Junior. What a great job she did for Chris Blake, making his 8th championship run for Kamehameha Schools, passes his mentor, Dan Kitashima, along the way.
And there is Kyra Hanawahine in the white t-shirt. Just to be able to go to Oregon, not only is that great for her and her continuing volleyball career, but what a wonderful place to be able to go to college and just be a part of the energy that is college athletics, obviously. The football team there, pretty much few schools do it as big as Oregon on championship point. Here we are. Trying to keep it alive over the net is Hanawahine. Hanawahine sets it up. They're going to get it to the far side. There's Kamala Kyle Whitaker. She puts it down.
Nice back set from Kiani Troy, who can play right side, can play setter, and here showing she's got all the skills, the connection between the 2 Big Island teammates.
3rd kill for her, so just trying to prolong this match. Oh, and a great save over there by Hope Carter to keep it alive. A little joust at the net. That's going to be won by Team Mauka, and that should be it. That's 21. So it looks like they want to keep playing, but that's game. Game over. Referee crosses his arms, which is the signal to say thank you very much. We've got a winner. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. We are going to regroup, and we're going to be back with the boys' championship. A couple teams from the same school are going to be going at it. Stick around, everybody. The boys' Sand D1 championship next.